Sonny leaves the mob, and the man behind him speaks about what comes next. Oh, darlings, this first story is one that is going to make every longtime General Hospital fan feel something deep and genuine, because the man who has been playing Sonny for 33 extraordinary years sat down this week and pulled back the curtain just enough to give us a glimpse of what is coming. And what he described was not the end of Sonny's power. It was a transformation of it. Let us start with the man himself, because 33 years on the same show, playing the same character, finding new dimensions in him year after year after year, is an achievement that simply does not exist anywhere else in this industry. He walked into General Hospital in August of 1993, and he is still here. Still finding things to do with Sonny that surprise him. Still saying yes to storylines that make him react with genuine wonder when he first hears them. He was honest about how he received the news of Sonny leaving the mob. Not surprised. Not resistant. His response was essentially, let me see what I can do with this. That is the response of an actor who has been doing this long enough to understand that limitation is often where the most interesting work lives. Sonny, without the infrastructure of organized crime, is Sonny forced to find other expressions of the thing that has always defined him most fundamentally. Not violence. Not criminal enterprise. Power itself. Influence. The ability to walk into a room and change it simply by being there. And here is the thing that makes this so compelling as a storytelling choice. That quality in Sonny has never actually depended on the mob. It comes from who he is. From decades of survival and reinvention, and a particular kind of emotional intelligence that operates underneath all the swagger. Sonny with legitimate power, Sonny building something in the business world rather than the criminal one, is not a lesser version of the character. It might be the most interesting version yet. He mentioned that he knows what the upcoming storyline is, and that his first reaction was genuine awe. He could not share specifics, but the energy with which he described it, the excitement of someone who has been doing this for 3 decades, finding something new that excites him, that tells us more than specific details ever could. He also shared something about how he envisions his eventual exit, whenever that day comes, which he made clear is not imminent. He described a scenario where something happens to one of his children, and it is his fault, and Sonny simply cannot bear it. He goes home. He pours a drink. He goes upstairs. And all you hear is a single sound before it cuts to black. On a soap opera, he noted, you never know. Did Sonny do it? Or did someone set him up? Either way, the story continues. The fact that he has thought this through, that he knows exactly the emotional weight of what that exit would mean, tells you everything about how deeply this actor inhabits this character after all these years. He is not done. But he knows exactly how the story ends when the time comes. And the names he wishes he could have back? 3 of them. Brenda.
Luke.
Morgan. Each one a piece of Sonny's history that shaped who he is in ways that can never fully be replaced. Sidwell may already control Pentonville, and Curtis is walking into danger. Now, darlings, let us shift to a storyline that is going to have significant consequences for someone Port Charles loves deeply, because the man who is supposed to be safely behind bars may not be nearly as contained as anyone hoped. And the person most immediately at risk from that reality is Curtis, who is about to enter the same facility where Sidwell has apparently been building something from day one. Let us understand the history of Pentonville first, because this prison has never been a place that operates cleanly. It has been corrupt for years, through multiple different power structures, with corruption running from the top of the administrative chain all the way down through the guards and into the general population. When powerful people land there, they do not simply become inmates. They become the center of a new hierarchy. And Pentonville's history tells us that the most dangerous person inside those walls is almost always the one who understood how to use that hierarchy before they ever arrived. Sidwell is exactly that kind of person. He has been planning contingencies since before he was arrested. He has resources and connections that a single arrest does not simply eliminate. And if he followed the pattern established by others who have passed through Pentonville and managed to run operations from inside, which the spoilers are suggesting he has, then the man behind bars is still a very dangerous man. He is going to be Curtis's cellmate. Let that land. The man who threatened Jordan specifically, the man who has every reason to want the Ashford family to suffer, is going to be sharing a cell with the person closest to that family, who is currently incarcerated. Sidwell is too smart to dirty his own hands in a facility being watched. He would not be the one to touch Curtis directly. But the plants he placed inside Pentonville before he ever arrived, the people who owe him loyalty or money or fear, those are the hands he would use. A beating that cannot be connected to him. A murder attempt that looks random or gang-related. Something that delivers the message he wants delivered without creating any line back to himself. Curtis going into Pentonville already facing this situation is terrifying. And the question of whether anyone in Port Charles figures out the danger before it is too late, whether Jordan or Martin or someone else with the right information gets a warning through in time, is going to define the urgency of this storyline. But here is the other dimension of this that is worth watching. Sidwell may not want to escape immediately. Running costs him the power he is accumulating inside. Being the top of the Pentonville hierarchy is its own kind of power, and Sidwell, whose entire identity is built around being the most powerful person in whatever room he occupies, may find that particular role deeply satisfying as a temporary arrangement. He can run a new empire from inside just as others have before him. He can let his assets situation stabilize. He can establish new channels and new identities and a new place to land. And when everything is ready, when the network is rebuilt and the path forward is clear, then he moves. Or someone else moves first. And Curtis becomes the thing that sets it all in motion. Port Charles at a crossroads, and what these stories mean for everything ahead. And now, darlings, let us step back and look at the full picture, because this week's spoilers are not just individual dramatic developments. They are signals about the shape of the next chapter of General Hospital. And the picture they paint is one of transformation for the characters, for the city, and for the stories this show is willing to tell. Sonny leaving the mob is the biggest structural change this show has made in decades. The mob has been the gravitational center of Port Charles's drama for as long as most viewers have been watching. It has generated conflict, created alliances, driven character choices, and defined the stakes of almost every major storyline. Removing it, or at least removing Sonny from it, does not eliminate that history, but it opens a space for something different. And the man playing Sonny is genuinely excited about what fills that space. That matters. 33 years in, genuine excitement is not something you fake. Whatever the writers have planned for Sonny's legitimate path to power, it has captured the imagination of someone who has spent 3 decades making this character live and breathe. That is a very good sign for what is coming. At the same time, Sidwell is demonstrating that power does not require freedom. He is behind bars and apparently already running a prison. The irony of Sonny stepping away from criminal enterprise at the exact moment that his most recent enemy is consolidating criminal power from a cell is the kind of dramatic contrast that this show knows exactly how to exploit. The danger Sidwell poses has not diminished. It may have grown more concentrated and more focused on specific targets, Curtis most immediately. Curtis going into Pentonville is one of the most dangerous situations any character Port Charles loves has faced in a long time. Not because of the obvious violence of prison in general, but because of the specific intelligence and specific grudge now operating inside it. Sidwell threatened Jordan. He does not make threats casually or without intention to follow through. And Curtis, who has always been someone who makes enemies by doing the right thing, is about to find himself in the middle of a situation where doing the right thing offers no protection. The people who love Curtis are going to have to fight for him from the outside. Jordan,
Portia,
Marshall,
Trina,
each of them carrying different pieces of the picture, none of them with complete information, all of them against a clock that Sidwell controls. And Sonny, newly free from the organization that would have been his first call in a situation like this, is going to have to figure out what helping a friend looks like when you have dissolved the infrastructure you would have used to do it. That question, playing out over the coming weeks, is going to tell us more about who Sonny is without the mob than any amount of legitimate business dealings could. Because the mob was never really about business. It was about loyalty. And loyalty does not require a criminal organization to express itself. Port Charles is at a genuinely fascinating inflection point right now, darlings. A 33-year veteran describing his character with the excitement of someone finding something new. A villain demonstrating that bars cannot contain real power. and a man who has always been good walking into a place that has never been safe for good men.